This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, nearly 24 people are killed in a suspected terror attack following an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England. The death toll now stands at 22. Some of the victims are children. ISIS is claiming responsibility for the bombing, but intelligence officials have not verified that claim. ABC's Ariel Reshef joins us live in Manchester with more.
Security is tight here in Manchester, with police keeping a close eye on public spaces as authorities continue to hunt for anyone connected to last night's deadly blast. Police in Manchester believe last night's blast was the work of a suicide bomber. Now officials say a 23-year-old man is in custody, and investigators are raiding other houses looking for anyone who might have links to the attacker.
The priority is to establish whether he was acting alone.
It started as a joyous night for 20,000 music fans, many younger than 10 years old. But it ended in terror.
Oh my God.
Last night, as pop superstar Ariana Grande was just wrapping up her sold-out concert, an explosion rocking the jam-packed Manchester arena. The crowd, mostly teens and their parents, frantically climbing over seats and railings, desperate to get to safety.
Everyone just running back up the stairs again, panicking, screaming, shouting, crying, and we could see the bodies on the floor, outside and in the arena part.
Emergency crews rushing to the scene to help the injured. Officials say nearly 24 are dead and about 60 injured, hundreds covered in blood and shrapnel.
You can imagine what injuries there might be through such a terrible, terrible device being left in a crowded space, but I wouldn't like to detail the injuries that we saw last night.
Some parents still desperately searching for their loved ones.
I'm heartbroken at the moment because I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's alive even yet.
British Prime Minister Theresa May visiting the crime scene.
It is an absolutely callous act that has taken place.
Ariana Grande tweeting, "Broken from the bottom of my heart. I'm so sorry. I don't have words." We are just learning the identification of some of the victims. One of them, an 8-year-old little girl. They will be honored in just about an hour from now here in Albert Square. In Manchester, England, Ariel Reshef, ABC News. Now back to you.
All right, Ariel, thank you. We'll have more on if there are any more developments in that case from the UK when that information comes into our newsroom. Here at home, after hours of deliberation, Andres Avalos, the man convicted of killing 3 people in Manatee County, will not be put to death. A 12-member jury recommending he spend the rest of his life in prison. Avalos was convicted last weekend of the murders of his wife Amber, a neighbor Denise Potter, and Pastor James Tripp Battle. But the state was pushing for the death penalty in this case.
We're disappointed, certainly, but we respect the jury's verdict. This was a case that we strongly believed in the death penalty. We certainly believe that the actions of the defendant in this case warranted the death penalty.
I'm not saying that Andy didn't deserve a penalty of death, but what we really wanted was justice, and I feel that him spending life in prison is justice.
Avalos' family members and his attorneys did not want to comment following the sentencing. New this afternoon, hackers may have the names of thousands of Florida gun owners. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter has more on what you need to know about this data breach. Jacqueline?
Yes, Scott, the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services has discovered hackers that now have the names of more than 16,000 Floridians who have concealed weapons permits. They say there was a data breach of the online payment system that processes fees for applications and permits. Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam is ordering a review of the department's cybersecurity measures. The agency says no financial information was obtained, but they do believe the breach originated overseas. Local gun shop owner Francis Misatone says it's an issue that should have been more carefully monitored.
This is something that the state should have been doing all along. I mean, your protection, my protection, everybody's protection. If they're going to gather the information, they should have it under lock and key where you can't get it.
The department also warned the breach may have revealed Social Security numbers of nearly 470 customers. Those affected will be offered free credit protection for up to a year by the agency. Back to you, Scott.
All right, thank you so much, Jacqueline. Also new this afternoon, Google wants to keep a better eye on what you're buying online and offline with a new store sales measurement tool. The company is tracking offline sales from credit and debit card transactions. They're hoping to use the information to better inform merchants when their digital ads translate into sales at a brick and mortar store. If it works, this could persuade merchants to increase their digital marketing budgets. The Track tool is being unveiled today at an annual conference that Google hosts for its advertisers. An update this afternoon on a massive wildfire in southwest Florida. Investigators now know how it started. They're blaming a lawnmower for the 7,500-acre fire in Collier County. Back in April, investigators say a Naples area property owner was mowing his lawn when he saw smoke. He called 911 and tried to put out the blaze with a fire extinguisher, but he could not stop it. Investigators say the lawnmower was in good condition and could have sparked a fire when it hit a rock. The owner is not facing charges, but he will be responsible for suppression costs. The wildfire destroyed 5 structures.
Suppression costs, huh?
Yeah, that's got to be a big number.
I would think so.
It took a long time to get that one under control.
You know, that's the thing about how dry it has been, is that just a little teeny spark rapidly turns into something that requires professionals to put out.
Yeah.
And the good news is that the rainfall that we have had lately has had an impact on that.
That's great, yeah.
So that's good to see. Going to be kind of an active weather day over the next couple of days, and I'm sure we'll see these values go down over the next couple of days. The Fire Danger Index, which shows how easily it is to start a fire and how rapidly it would burn into something that would require professionals to extinguish, is now in the low category in Sarasota and moderate everywhere else. Now that is a very, very big change. These indexes are very responsive and sensitive to moisture in the air and to any kind of rainfall that we get. And you can see all the cloud cover around it indicating of this deep south moisture plume that is running all over the state of Florida currently. It is setting the stage for what is potentially a big rainfall event, though locally we haven't seen a whole lot. Saw a few showers this morning around Charlotte Harbor up through Northport, and those have now since dissipated as everything has moved northward. Don't expect to see much this afternoon except maybe a few showers inland. But tomorrow through Thursday, we could see 3-4 inches of rainfall possible. And the downside is we may also see some severe weather, which we'll talk about in just a second, Scott.
All right, John, thank you so much. A shortage of bus drivers in Manatee County has transit officials scrambling to fill the vacancies. Manatee County Area Transit averaging 2 operators working double shifts every day to make sure all routes are covered. Managers say the shortage of drivers is causing staff burnout, illness, and jeopardizes safety. Transit officials will ask county commissioners today to approve the hiring of an additional 16 full-time bus operators. Some routes have been reduced in frequency because of that shortage. Now, if these new positions are approved, those drivers could be on the road by this fall. Mote Marine Lab is making progress in its efforts to help conserve coral reefs. The Protect Our Reefs program distributing nearly $360,000 in grants for research, conservation, and education projects focused on coral reefs. This year's projects will focus on seeing how climate change, pollution, and ocean acidification impacts reefs. The research will also help bring in new data on how to manage them. Astronauts are making repairs outside the International Space Station high above us. Commander Peggy Whitson and Jack Fisher using a spacewalk to replace a critical relay box which stopped working 3 days ago. That box is vital for operating the station's solar panels, radiators, and robotic equipment. NASA has been scrambling to put together a spacewalk to restore it. Whitson, by the way, now ties the record for most spacewalks by an American at 10. Time now to get over to the kitchen and check on our guest today. It's chef and owner Eddie Izeri from Apollonia Grill. Eddie, great to have you back in our kitchen today. What's on your menu for today?
Hi, Scott. Today we'll be doing a pan-seared snapper with a beautiful pepper sauce.
Sounds delicious. We'll be back with you in a little bit, Eddie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Drive into Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota and discover big savings during the Drive and Discover event. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or stop by today and drive away in a 2017 Jeep Cherokee for just $18,999. And for a limited time, get America's best value, a new Dodge Journey for as little as $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're watching some pretty thick weather outside right now. Deep tropical moisture is lifting northward across the region and a plume of air coming up out of the south. You probably noticed that it's very breezy as well. We have lake wind advisories up. We have rip current advisories up, and it probably won't be too terribly long before we see a small craft advisory for our area waters. All of this meaning that the jet of air coming up out of the south is producing not only a sheared environment or a spin in the atmosphere, but it's also supplying lots of moisture to the area. Dew point now 72, south-southwest wind coming in briskly at 17. Temperature is at 84 with a fair amount of cloud. Don't think we'll get much warmer than that. So with all this moisture in place, and I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if you put a lot of water into air, that air is actually lighter and fluffier, believe it or not. And it lifts easier than dry air, which is heavier and wants to sink. I know that's counterintuitive, but it's true. And as we moisten up our environment, our atmosphere across the region, we're creating a situation where this air wants to rise, it wants to cool, it wants to condense and produce rainfall. And it's going to produce a lot of rainfall over the course of the next 36 hours or so. 85 degrees in Wauchula, 86 degrees in Arcadia, Mayaca, 86 degrees in Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch. Pretty similar uniform temperatures. 84 in Venice, 83 Inglewood, 82 Longboat Key. Across the region, we have a frontal boundary that is kind of stalled out along the deep south. Little areas of low pressure rapidly moving across that region. And another frontal boundary located to the north, which is eventually going to kind of merge with this system and push southward through our area, bringing a whole lot of rain our way, probably by tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. The high-pressure ridge that has provided us with our very dry, sunny conditions has been nudged southward by these approaching fronts, and that accounts for our southwesterly wind flow in advance of this frontal boundary. Now, the thing is that with this moist air in place that wants to rise, and that jet of southerly air kind of wanting to spin the atmosphere, all of those things can combine together with some very strong upper level winds, 120 knot winds coming across the region by tomorrow afternoon. It creates a situation where there is a potential for severe weather. Thunderstorms that want to rotate and produce a lot of rainfall, as well as perhaps brief tornadoes. Plus, with the strong updrafts in this very moist, buoyant air, you could get some hail too, some significant hail. So it's going to become windy. We're going to get mostly inland storms today, but tomorrow we'll be watching very carefully for the potential of some severe weather as the next front begins to sink southward. Kind of a late season front, yes, but by around, I'd say, late afternoon drive time tomorrow evening, this front will be on our doorstep, and we'll be watching very carefully to see whether any of these cells might become severe with some gusty winds, hail, and potentially some isolated tornadoes as well, although probably brief-lived smaller tornadoes. But the whole line is probably going to organize itself as a squall line and move through here fairly rapidly, but there'll be some on and off showers and the potential for some stronger storms right through about dawn on Thursday when the front actually moves through. And then we'll be in for a prolonged period of lovely weather. It's just that one little window of time when we're going to have to watch very carefully. So today, 30% chance of showers, mostly inland with a mix of sun and clouds. Tomorrow, we'll look for slightly cooler temperatures. Then some shower and thunderstorm activity rapidly increasing during the afternoon and evening tomorrow, followed by overnight scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two, and clearing in the second half of the day on Thursday. And a prolonged period, holiday weekend, looks great. Back to you, Scott.
Okay, John, thank you. Happening today, the White House releasing President Trump's budget for 2018. The budget includes $800 billion in cuts to Medicaid, assuming the GOP health care bill will eventually become law. The president's budget is also expected to include a plan to give 6 weeks of paid leave to families after the birth or adoption of a child. It also there are changes to anti-poverty programs, which will give states new powers to limit a range of benefits. In health news today, there's new treatment on the market to those dealing with knee pain. It's called platelet-rich plasma injections. This works by doctors drawing blood and then separating the platelets. The concentrated platelet formula then goes directly back into your knee along with a lubricant. The treatment usually alleviates the pain. Doctors say it's especially good for people who are runners.
It'll feel great. I mean, it's just like having not new knees again, but before that running, you feel kind of like you're running on pirate sticks.
Doctors admit the injections don't work for everyone, but 9 studies have shown the shots improve pain and function. But it is not FDA approved yet, and insurance considers it experimental. Well, we see gluten-free products more and more advertised in stores all the time, but for people suffering from celiac disease, gluten-free is not always safe for them to eat. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder that causes people to experience gastrointestinal distress after consuming foods with gluten. Women are most frequently diagnosed with it. The disease can be detected by screenings. Now, if celiac disease is left untreated, it can cause a person to develop other autoimmune disorders, nutrient deficiencies, or disorders such as lymphoma. For those suffering from the disease, doctors say it could be hard to find foods that are safe to eat and can keep the disease in remission.
Gluten is hidden in so many different things that it's not easy to go to the annual picnic and find things that you can actually eat. Can't have those hamburger rolls or the hot dog buns, and you've got to be careful of so many different things.
Gluten is a protein, and foods with it include wheat, rye, and barley. Celiac disease is also genetic, so if you are diagnosed, doctors suggest getting your kids tested for it as well. Up next on your Suncoast News, a late night win puts one team on the road to the NBI Finals. But first, let's go to ABC News and a special report regarding the bombing in Manchester, England.
Here in Manchester. Can I start by once again expressing my sincere condolences to the families of those that have lost their loved ones in this atrocity. We now have a team of specifically trained family liaison officers working with those families and supporting them. There has been much speculation in the media and on social media as to the names of some of the victims. And whilst I accept that some of this is an inevitability, I would ask that people do allow us to work with the coroner and to work with those families and ensure that they are properly supported before we release the names of those that have sadly lost their lives. As you would expect, the police response across Greater Manchester has been significant today as we help people to continue to go about their daily business and lead their lives here in Greater Manchester. Part of this response has seen us arrest a 23-year-old man in connection with the attack, and we've also carried out 2 warrants, one in Whalley Range and one in Fallowfield. The one in Fallowfield did see us undertake a controlled explosion to gain entry, and again I just wish to reassure those communities that was something that we were doing to gain safe access. It is nothing to be concerned about. We understand that feelings are very raw right now and that people are bound to be looking for answers. However, more than ever, it is vital that our diverse communities that make Greater Manchester such a strong place actually stand together and support each other, as we will be doing in the vigil at 6 p.m. this evening. We will therefore not tolerate hate towards any parts of our community, and should communities be suffering from hate incidents or crime, then I would please urge them to report it to us. This afternoon, as you saw, we were visited by the Home Secretary, Theresa May, and the Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, both of whom were given a briefing about our ongoing operations and the investigation over today and the next few days. I can confirm that the man suspected of carrying out last night's atrocity is 22-year-old Salman Abedi. However, he has not yet been formally named by the coroner, and I wouldn't wish to therefore comment any further about him at this stage. Our priority, along with the police counter-terrorist network and our security partners, is to continue to establish whether he was acting alone or working as part of a wider network. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
So there you have it right here. The Chief Constable of the Manchester Police, Ian Hopkins, making a plea for peace in that town, saying the town of Manchester, a multicultural town, will not tolerate hate. Of course, this comes in the wake of that attack last night at the Ariana Grande concert. 22 dead, 59 injured. Our World News anchor David Muir is on the scene there in Manchester. And David, as the constable just said, there is a major vigil coming forward in the next couple of hours for that city to come together.
You're absolutely right, George. In fact, you can see some of the people gathering for that vigil right here behind me. It's actually going to begin in about 45 minutes or so and expected to last well into the evening. One of the key things we heard just now is that this suspect that they have zeroed in on reached a preliminary identification of 22-year-old Salman Abedi, although he said he's not formally been named by the coroner yet, so he didn't want to offer any more details about the suspect. But the key question, George, as you know, for investigators at this point, is whether or not he was acting alone or part of some larger network that had planned this. And of course, the numbers here are just simply staggering. 22 killed, 59 injured, and as you heard him talk about going easy, using great sensitivity when talking about these families. And you can understand when you're here why he said that, because we're learning today that some of the youngest victims were 8 years old, a little girl. So many families had brought their children to that Ariana Grande concert, George, when that horror began to unfold.
They sure did. Yeah, that's right. It was so hard to see for any of us who brought our kids to concerts like that. Our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, here, as well as David said, the constable does not know yet whether he was acting alone or with others, but there has been another arrest and 2 other warrants for searches.
That's right. There was an arrest of a 23-year-old man, name unknown at this point, and they are looking to see if anybody helped Abedi build what was a suicide bomb. That takes some planning and some sophistication. In terms of larger numbers, there are 500 active terror investigations underway right now in Great Britain. This is just one of many.
What we do know is that ISIS has claimed responsibility.
They have said the responsibility. They called him a soldier of the Caliphate, and that he killed 100 crusaders. That's the words of the ISIS statement on Twitter.
Terry, so much shock. Terry Moran, our Terry Moran is also in Manchester. So much shock at the end of that concert last night. For several minutes, chaos inside the arena, and so many people had no idea what was happening.
They didn't, Georgia. It was a joyous moment. And think of that crowd. Ariana Grande's fan base, teenagers, young girls, their moms. I talked to parents who were waiting outside and then heard that bomb go off and thought the worst. And at that moment, as you see in those pictures, those pink balloons that had come down from the sky as part of the final, from the roof as part of the final song, all through the arena, now blocking the exits, and outside parents desperately trying to get to their kids. I talked to one father who said that he ran up the stairs, ran through that crowd that was fleeing, finally saw his daughter, grabbed her, and he told me It was like she was born again. It was like the day that she was born.
Some concerns in our own law enforcement that this place was specifically targeted because there would be so many young women and families there. David, before we go, David, you're back in Manchester. As you said, the vigil is coming up, and you'll be reporting from there tonight.
We will be reporting from here tonight, George, and the world is really reacting to what it's now seen here in Manchester. As you mentioned, George, so relatable for families back in the United States who do this, you know, with their own families, take their loved ones to these concerts. And I wanted to share with you, as we close here, something that the Prime Minister, Theresa May, as you know, she came to Manchester today, something she said to the people here in the UK. She said the people of Manchester have fallen victim to an attack that targeted some of the youngest people in our society with cold calculation, which is perhaps why this is resonating so deeply here. The victims were so terribly young, George.
We are tracking all the latest. You'll be back for World News Tonight, David Muir. Have a good afternoon.
This has been a special.
Latest from ABC News regarding the terror attack last night in Manchester. The suicide bomber. Police have identified him, and raids conducting, looking for others who may be involved. So we're up to date on what's happened there so far. We'll bring you more if that information comes in. We'll be right back with more news.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Come on in, welcome to our pad. Trust me, folks, you're in for a ride. I'm driving, so relax. Unwind, leave your buckets all behind. Get ready to blow your mind. In Beatsville, don't be shy. Come and make the scene. Catch the crazy party inside. The hipsters here are gone. And dig, man, they're on to something big. Yeah, they're gonna flip your wig in Beatsville. Catch the gig in Beatsville.
The Golden State Warriors will be making a third straight trip to the NBA Finals. The team closing out the Western Conference Finals against the San Antonio Spurs with a 129-115 victory last night. The Warriors are the first team in league history to start the playoffs a perfect 12-0. Golden State now awaits the winner in the East. Cleveland leads Boston 2-1 with Game 4 set for tonight back in Cleveland. Meanwhile, the Rays kicking off a 4-game series with a loss against the Los Angeles Angels. Jerry Marte scored the go-ahead run on a wild pitch in the 7th inning to help the Angels win. The Angels have now won 6 of 8, and they pushed across that run without a hit in the 7th inning against Tampa Bay relievers Jumbo Diaz and Ryan Stanek. With the bases loaded, Stanek threw a ball in the dirt while facing Albert Pujols, allowing Marte to score easily. Corey Dickerson and Logan Morrison homered for the only 2 runs for the Rays. Final score, Angels win at 3-2. Same 2 teams will play again tonight at Tropicana Field. Time to get back over to the kitchen. John is there with our good friend, Chef Eddie Iziri from Apollonia Grill. Guys?
Absolutely love Apollonia Grill. Chef Eddie, thanks for coming in today. Sure do appreciate it. You're cooking up a fish dish.
Yes, so we're doing a local Gulf snapper. This is lane snapper. Easy to find, easy to get it all the time, and it's actually inexpensive, so it's pretty good.
It's called what kind of snapper?
Lane snapper.
Lane snapper.
It's kind of like a reddish pinkish color to it, and it's available all the time. So what I'm going to serve that with is simply pan-seared with a pepper sauce. So I diced up some peppers earlier while we were on the show, and then we're going to start off with some onions. Let me put some more olive oil in this pan. Make sure the pan is hot, and it's really nice and hot today. Okay. Good. So we're going to add some garlic to this. I chopped up, I basically diced up, minced some garlic, I should say. So you want to cook this up for about a minute or two, you know, just kind of sweat it out. And then lower the heat, because the idea for this dish is to create a sauce. We don't want to brown it. So we just want to cook everything down, sort of melt away all the veggies. So I'm going to add the yellow pepper. And these are just standard bell peppers, and some red. We're making a lot of sauce here. This should be good enough for about 4 to 6 people, but the recipe is online and it's measured out for you. So while this cooks down a little bit, we're going to start with our snapper. So our pan is hot here. So one trick to when you're searing a fish with the skin on, you want to score the fish, because otherwise it will curl up on you.
Make little cuts into the skin.
That's right.
Okay.
So just about, you know, I would say 1/4 of an inch thick, just kind of, you know, like that. You want to keep them uniform so that way it has a nice presentation, because we will serve this with skin side up.
And you're spacing those about 1 inch apart, I'd say.
About 1 inch apart. The other thing that this does is it can get the salt and the seasoning inside, you know, those inside the fish. So
Yes, sir.
when you open it up. So after you would season it, we would put it skin down on a hot pan and away from you, so that way any oil doesn't splatter.
Always skin down?
Always skin down,
Okay.
yes. So I'm going to hold the fish kind of tight like this here on the pan, so that way it doesn't curl up. And you want to cook this for about 5 to 6 minutes, I would say. And you want to make sure about 90% of the fish should be cooked with the skin down.
Well, they should make a kitchen gadget for that.
Yeah.
Some sort of fish-shaped brick that you can put right on there.
So as our sauces or our vegetables are cooking down here, we're going to add some ouzo to it.
Okay.
Now,
which is a
licorice, anisette flavor. And the harsh liquor or alcohol goes away. So I'm going to put about 2 ounces to 3 ounces in there. It goes away and it makes it sweet. Yeah. So and it goes really well with the peppers, which go really well with the fish. We're going to add a little bit of white wine.
What kind of white wine are you using for this dish?
We're using a Greek Muscofilero wine, which comes from the island of Santorini. It's actually really nice.
Yeah, I think the Greeks are underrated in their wine production.
I think so, absolutely. And they're making some wonderful, they're making some really, really good wines now.
They've been doing it for a long time.
Yes. And then we're going to add a bunch of basil in there. I would say about 8 to 9 leaves, just depending on how many people you're serving.
Oh, so you're not cutting those? No chiffonade, nothing, just right in?
Yeah, you don't even have to cut the peppers, you know, to a certain size, because at the end of the day, we're going to blend all this stuff together. So we're going to use a emulsifier blender, something like this, or you could use just a regular blender at home.
Well, now, unfortunately, on TV time, we only have a few seconds left. So let's jump to what the finished product will end up looking like, and dress it up for us and let us know how it
so I'll move this out of the way. So it's quite simple. You know, the sauce should turn something like this.
Right, after you've blended it down.
Not on this plate, because we had the raw fish in there. Can you give me one of those,
there you
please?
go.
Thank you. So we would just, you know, sort of put a dab in the middle.
Oh,
just rotate a little bit.
And while you reach over for the finished fish, I'll remind everybody that the recipe for this is on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining button. It'll take you right through Chef Eddie's video instructions.
A little bit of olive oil.
Look how he finishes it up. Oh my, that looks tasty. I can't wait to tuck into this. And what's the name of it?
Gulf snapper with roasted pepper sauce.
And is it on the Apollonia Grill menu?
We run it as a special, yes.
There you go. Thank you for coming in today, Chef.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
We asked you, Suncoast, why do you like ABC7?
I like ABC7 because it's local. It gives me all the local news.
The local news, local weather.
It's so local and so community-driven.
Haley Wilgus does a great job.
John Scalzi, that's my guy.
Bob Harrigan is wonderful. Stephanie's my favorite.
I like Scott Dennis.
I like them all.
We're all very grateful that you cover what you do and you're here to participate with the community.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean really moves me.
One.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wannabe Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. President Trump is on his way to Italy at this hour after spending a final day in Israel and the West Bank. But the continuing controversy on Russia's alleged meddling in the 2016 presidential election continues to cast a shadow on his overseas travel. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the latest.
Hoping to reignite peace talks between the Israelis and Palestinians, President Trump met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in Bethlehem.
I extend my hand to you to be your partner,
where the two leaders pledged their commitment to do their part.
I intend to do everything I can to help them achieve that goal.
The two-day trip to Israel coming to a close with President Trump and the First Family attending this memorial for Holocaust victims at Yad Vashem. Meanwhile, back in Washington, the president still cannot shake the links between his campaign and Russia.
It should be clear to everyone that Russia brazenly interfered in our 2016 presidential election process.
Russian meddling in the election forging ahead on Capitol Hill.
President Trump asked two of the nation's top intelligence officials in March to help him push back against an FBI investigation into possible coordination between his campaign and the Russian government. Is that an accurate reporting?
It's not appropriate for me to comment publicly on any of that.
President Trump's director of national intelligence declined to respond to new accusations first reported in the Washington Post that he tried to discredit the FBI's investigation into Russians' interference in the election and possible collusion with his campaign.
ABC News has confirmed President Trump also asked NSA Director Mike Rogers to do the same, but he refused, deeming it inappropriate. And the White House says it will not confirm or deny claims based on illegal leaks. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, Washington.
Happening this afternoon here at home, Sarasota County Commissioners are expected to take another big step forward in a deal to bring the Atlanta Braves to Northport for spring training. ABC 7's Ray Collins has a preview of today's consideration of an operating agreement. Ray?
Yeah, Scott, that is the next step in this ongoing negotiation between the Braves, Northport, and Sarasota County. Once the county approves the operating agreement, Northport's West Villages Improvement District can apply for a $20 million state grant. Now, the entire complex will cost about $75 million. The county would fund $22 million from the tourist development tax. Northport must still consider how it will pay for the $4 to $5 million portion of its funding. The complex would be near US 41 and River Road. If all goes as planned, they'll start there in 2019. But first things first, this afternoon's vote by Sarasota County Commissioners.
What we will be asking the Board of County Commissioners to do on Tuesday is approve a resolution. Approval of that resolution will do a couple of things. One, it will approve the facility operating agreement. Secondly, it will approve a non-relocation agreement. And thirdly, it will delegate some authority to the county administrator to do a couple of other things.
If and when the deal is approved, it would keep the Braves in Northport until the year 2048. So we'll track today's vote and have results in our evening newscast. Scott, back to you.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Follow up this afternoon on a massive storm system moving across the south. Flash flood watches are still in effect for states such as Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, and parts of Virginia. Many places such as Montgomery, Alabama, are already saturated with water from heavy rain over the weekend. Take a look at this, though. 4 water spouts are caught on camera at the same time in Greece. Water spouts are, of course, tornadoes that form over water or can move from land to water. Water spouts were captured by a CNN reporter who then posted it on to Facebook.
It's fantastic.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. See, one of the problems with that is it's almost difficult to make out those water spouts because of the amount of moisture that's in the air.
Yeah.
And I think that is a problem that we might have tomorrow, if we do get any tornadoes in the state of Florida, is they may be what's called rain wrapped, and that is difficult to see visually. Yeah. So very important to have a weather radio at hand for tomorrow and to have your WWSB app unloaded onto your phone with the alerts set on, so if anything comes up, you'll be first to know about it. So we want to do that.
Key things to keep us safe.
Absolutely, because it could be an eventful day tomorrow. We are looking locally at some pretty quiet conditions, I think, this afternoon. A little bit of cloud cover out there, and we may see a shower or two, but mostly that's going to be in inland areas, and the reason for that is we have a strong southwest wind. We saw a few showers around this morning, as is evidenced here on our 12-hour time lapse, and you can see them moving through areas around Northport, but they've since departed the area, moving further to the north. A lot of cloud cover out there, but we'll also have a glimpse at the sun, breaking through those clouds from time to time this afternoon, enough such that I think it'll help to encourage the formation of a few scattered showers a little bit later on today. We'll put the rain chance not high, but at about 30% or so late in the day, 20% by 2, and by about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, probably at about 30%. Mostly inland, not so much near the coast. Tomorrow, though, we will at least quadruple that rainfall chance and include a chance of severe weather, about a 15% chance of severe weather. We'll talk about that coming up in a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. The Oslo Repertory Theater in Sarasota giving kids with special needs a chance to shine bright on stage. The performance is called Kaleidoscope Heartbeats. The show gives kids with disabilities a chance to be creative and express themselves through theater. This year, students from Easter Seals, Oak Park School, Community Haven, and Bayshore High are all getting involved. Young actors have been working for weeks on their shows.
They are on the set of our musical Beatsville, doing their own stories, characters, exercises that they've learned in weeks now of classroom workshops. And this was really the culmination and the celebration of everything that they've been learning about teamwork, about collaboration and creativity.
Kaleidoscope is one of Oslo's longest-running outreach programs. It started back in 1995. A little girl from Northport is making a huge impression in a popular competition overseas. Amani Beisha, I hope I'm saying her name right, is one of 10 acts left in the Arabs Got Talent show. It's similar to the show we have here called America's Got Talent. The 8-year-old winning the top spot in the semifinals after performing opera songs and received the highest percentage of votes. She was actually born in the Middle East and lives there for half of the year with her father, who is Jordanian. She spends the other part of the year with her grandmother in Northport. She's the youngest performer to make it to the semifinals. She hopes she makes it all the way to the end. Up next, it's a special event just for Lily lovers, and the first man to bring us the cool and suave British spy, one of the first, James Bond, has passed away. How his fans are remembering Roger Moore.
Fresh out of the box, the Alfa Romeo won us over. We went in skeptical and left in awe of this gorgeous machine. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
With all the furniture choices you have, where do you shop? How about Bacon's Furniture and Bedding, now available in Sarasota? Treat yourself to a new Beauty Sleep Queen mattress set starting at only $399 and save up to $800 off an adjustable base with your mattress purchase. Find huge Memorial Day discounts of up to 70% off throughout our showroom with hundreds of items ready for immediate delivery. It's the Memorial Day sales event going on now at Bacon's Furniture and Bedding, available now in Sarasota. Nobody beats Bacon's.
It does things that seem impossible, feeling like it could change direction while airborne. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
So it's really going to be all about these double barrel areas of low pressure and frontal boundaries sinking southward into the state of Florida over the next 24 hours. It does look like there will be some issues as they do sink southward. At the very least, some excessive rainfall in some places will probably lead to some urban stream flooding, maybe some flash flooding in some low-lying areas as this whole mass sinks southward. At worst, we could see some severe weather, maybe some gusty winds, some damaging winds, possibly even some isolated tornadoes as the system sinks south. Right now, the rest of the day looks like it'll be pretty nice. You only have a little cloud cover out there, maybe some inland showers, but breezy winds will be the most noticeable thing. And then as this front sinks southward tomorrow, I think sometime in the late afternoon, through drive time particularly, we'll start to see some clusters of some pretty big storms begin to form as this frontal boundary approaches. The front won't actually make it through our area until early Thursday morning, probably after sunrise early morning on Thursday. But between about 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow night and then through the midnight hour or so, these heavier storms will be really on our doorstep and could cause potentially some severe weather. Be watching for that. The RPM computer model shows they're moving just into our area around dinner time tomorrow, and it's been pretty consistent, this particular RPM computer model, with this line of showers developing. So we'll watch and see how that plays out. There'll probably be some adjustment in timing over the course of the next 12 hours or so, but that's a pretty good time frame. And then the whole system sinks south by early morning Thursday. I think we'll still see some scattered showers around as we wake up on Thursday morning, but it'll be a pretty quick clearing in the afternoon on Thursday, if not before, as that cold front sinks southward. And as it does so, our winds whip around to the northwest, and we'll draw down some slightly drier air. Now, Severe Storm Prediction Center still puts our area, in fact, a big chunk of Florida real estate, into a 15% zone for possibly some severe weather, including tornadoes, but most particularly gusty winds, those kind of bow echoes that produce damaging straight-line winds. Maybe some microbursts are possible. with this system, and some hail as well. Not out of the question. So all of those things, plus we're going to get some pretty good rainfall. Atlanta Airport might also be under the gun tomorrow too, so we'll watch for that. Fair amount of cloud cover around today, kind of suppressing our daytime high temperatures. All of that will give way to sunshine, though, as we head into the balance of the week. Titan radar showing those heavy storms to the north of us. Everything outlined in red here is a tornado watch box. Again, a watch meaning potentially tornadic activity. And there have been some tornadoes Doppler reported. And right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning up for parts of Georgia. Tornado watch is in effect till 6 p.m. today for that area. You can see all the intense thunderstorm activity. Well, that's sinking southward. As I mentioned, our area looks quiet right now. There are no issues here except for the one lone shower just to the east of Arcadia, but that is non-severe, and really I don't expect to see any severe weather today. Here's hopefully what we will see, though, and that's anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rainfall before this is all said and done on Thursday by lunchtime. Small craft advisories will probably be needed over the next 24 hours, 80 to 100% chance of showers between Wednesday and Thursday morning, and then clearing in time for Memorial Day. The Memorial Day weekend looks great, Scott.
Good news. Thank you so much, John. The wide variety of plants, flowers, fruits, and veggies that grow here on the Suncoast is one thing that makes this a great place to call home. Today, ABC 7's Linda Carson takes us to a visit to a water lily farm.
Wonderful Water Lilies is located in the Turtle Creek 2 neighborhood along Philippi Creek. And here you can find tranquility and beauty that you can take home with you.
We sell aquatic plants, water lilies, lotus, and marginals, any of the plants that you use in or around the pond.
Marilyn has lived here 22 years.
I have about 13 ponds on the place. Some for my own enjoyment, but also many of them are for the public to purchase from. Made them from landscape timbers with the black rubber lining.
This is quite a change from her previous careers.
First I was a college professor, and then I changed careers. I was a psychotherapist, a clinical social worker.
Then she got interested in water lilies.
We had a pond club with about 160 members, and the members came from Naples to Parrish. And our president was Paula Biles, who was the executive director of the International Water Lily and Water Gardening Society. She knew all the hybridizers. She knew people from all over the world. And she built up a lot of enthusiasm in us, and we talked about the new international winners, but we couldn't find any of those water lilies.
So when she retired, she decided to grow water lilies, specializing in those hard-to-find international winners. Her husband was ill, so this allowed her to be home with him, and he was an expert in the field.
He was the geneticist, and his work had been with seedless watermelons. His father was the one that discovered the method for making seedless watermelons. And so my husband worked with him on making it economically feasible for farmers to grow them.
What she loves most about working with water lilies?
The tranquility. And I always said this was my gym. I do a lot of lifting. I lift 3-gallon pots with water lilies in them, wet soil. It's heavy. So I get my lifting in.
She has many different types of water lilies.
Some are day bloomers, some are night bloomers. The night bloomers, I say you need one of those in your pond because they are open in the morning until about 10 o'clock. And they open at night, I think about 11 or 12.
But you've got to see this place for yourself. The wonderful Water Lily Festival is Monday, May 29th, Memorial Day from 10 to 3. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Linda, thank you so much. In entertainment news today, one of the original 007s has passed away. Actor Roger Moore has died after a short battle with cancer. He was the longest-serving movie star to play the 007, James Bond, in the iconic British film series. Moore starred in 7 Bond films, including Live and Let Die and A View to a Kill. He's actually the 3rd actor to play Bond. His family shared the news of the actor's official Twitter page. They say they are devastated, but he was surrounded with love in his final days. Moore was 89 years old. Tonight we're going to learn who will take home the Mirror Ball trophy on Dancing with the Stars. Rashad Jennings and Emma Slater dancing their way to perfect scores in the finals last night, leading the way with the judges as they enter the home stretch. Normani Corday and her partner are in 2nd place. David Ross, Lindsay Arnold are in 3rd. The final 3 dances will happen tonight beginning at 8:30. You can see it right here on ABC7. 10 years and 2 days later, actress Meryl Streep is reprising her role in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. The comedy is a sequel to 2008's Mamma Mia. It hits theaters next July. Finally this afternoon, for just a few $1 million, the moon dust collected from the Apollo 11 trip could be yours. The bag full of dust was collected by astronaut Neil Armstrong. It's going up for auction in New York. It's expected to bring in between $2 and $4 million. The current owner sent the bag to NASA to confirm it's genuine, and they say it is. There's no word on how he got a hold of it, but the owner says he plans to donate some of the proceeds to charity. Where do you think that came from? Somebody made some nice money.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope whoever buys it, though, at least for part of the time, puts it on public display. Because that's pretty special.
Yeah.
You know, the first otherworldly rocks to return to Earth.
Exactly. We haven't been there for quite a while. Who knows if we'll go back.
In a determined way. There have been some rocks that have returned to Earth that we probably would rather have not had returned to Earth.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, though. Again, threat of severe weather tomorrow. We'll have new analysis and updated information coming in about 45 minutes. Bob, of course, will have that for you tonight at 5. You'll want to catch that.
Okay. John, thank you so much. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you again at 5.